Coffee with the Jewetts. We are the Jewetts, and this is our coffee. We hit just whatever topics that are trendy that you want to hear from us.
All right. So these were submitted to us. So our first topic is too old. Time to quit?
When's it time to quit bodybuilding? When are you over the hill?
When are you over the hill?
Where's your, what's your cutoff? Do you have that in mind? Did you ever have that in mind?
Well, I would say when you stop improving, when you get on stage, time and time again, placements don't improve, physique doesn't improve, or it starts looking, even, worse.
I used to have, in mind, 35 would be the cutoff point.
And here we are.
And here I am at 36. Yeah, I remember when I first turned pro, I was up at, I went to Animal headquarters doing this first video shoot, and there was this guy that bodybuilded in the gym. He was all health, conscious, and was how long you think you're gonna do this for? I'm like, man, 35, because that 35, you're a master's level, right? I'm like, I'm not gonna compete.
I'm gonna do masters.
As a master's. But now you even see guys that are in their 40s still at their prime. There's some really rare examples, Dexter's the anomaly.
Yeah, of course.
That where none of us are Dexter. And there's Kamal, 212, which...
And he's what, 45?
No, he's I think he's... no, apologize, Kamal. I think he's 48, if not right at 50.
Maybe he was 45 when he did the Olympia with you.
Yeah. But he's improved. He did Open. He got second place at Open
great.
Show. So, those are some older guys. But I think you're going to be able to pick out...
Well, and even with, wellness, a lot of these women they could do masters. They're over 35 or over, So it's I can't even say that's my cutoff.
So, what's Francil? What?
Francil's, 36 now?
Okay.
So she could do masters.
Yeah. So I guess it might not be the age cutoff, just what does that time lapse look like for you? How aged are you at that point? How long have you been doing it for? Because some of these people get into it later on.
Like me. I've only been competing for, not counting, when I tried to do my figure shows, I'm not counting those years. But, I've only been competing since, 2020? Mm-hmm. So, as far as, my competitive career, I'm still very new at it,
Yeah. It's been a lot of, dieting phases. Mm-hmm. So not a lot of time of actual, necessary off-season to improve. Mm-hmm. But I think you're right. I think that's it. For me too, if I'm no longer able to see the improvement year to year, that's when I would want to cut it off.
I think if you're not seeing that improvement, and then if your body is really fighting you.
Yeah, for some people, it's to get stage ready is such a sacrifice on everything. Health, mental aspect, the hormone disarray that occurs. And if someone's still back of the pack, even though you're improving, because this is a hard sport, if you want to call it. So even if you are improving, but you have, 20 steps to climb up the ladder to see the placings there, I think that's when you need to weigh out too, should you keep going.
Mm-hmm. What is it worth? And then you're going to have those people that are I just really love competing, I don't care about the placements. And it's okay.
By all means, if you love competing,
if you
compete.
just love it that much and you don't care about the placings or improving, then compete.
Because I tell people, I might do this for another couple years, and they look shocked. It's usually someone that's in their 40s, why would you not keep going? It's dude, do you realize how hard bodybuilding is on your health? You have a time span in this to make the most of it. Mm-hmm. Do everything you can while you're there and get out. It's not string this on and compete at the highest level you can for as long as you can, because you absolutely will, in my opinion, have like hell sacrifice.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so I don't want to see that like declining happening and just keep it going. You know, I like to stop when you feel like you're on top, which is hard to do. So
yeah,
I would say if you've gone all in within those first 5 years of competing, you're probably pretty close to seeing where you might truly land. For some people, that might be the pro card, but it might be back of the pack at a pro show. Like constantly getting 16th, like what does it take for you to move from 16th to first,
or just in the first call out,
or even that? And then do you have the runway with all your tools to make up the progress, right? Like, hey man, I trained super hard, I follow my diet, I manage stress, like I've taken all the drugs. Like, okay, well, what else are you going to do to go from 16th to now like even first call out? It's like you might not even have any of those tools to even bring up. It's like, well, this is going to be a real long haul of slow progress over many years. If you want to do it, that's fine, but just realize like this is usually taking away from a lot of people.
Yeah.
You could be putting into setting yourself up for the future. A lot of people are not set up for the future in this. Like, it's tough on females, I feel like, because you don't really make a career out of bodybuilding, like with the sponsorships and everything that's available. So a lot of these people are just all in on competing, and they haven't established themselves career-wise. And then you get done, and you've taken away your working years in your like 30s, and what do you have for yourself?
It's like you're taking away your time, your money, and your health. And what are you left with? You know?
Yeah, it's just stuff to weigh out. You know. So when is too old? Well, there's some things to consider.
just a few things to consider.
I guess it gets on the topic too of like the Masters Olympia, because I think it's great to have an outlet for Masters, because you could turn a pro as a Masters, right? There's Masters shows, but then that's kind of it. There's not like a big final,
a higher level
out. My personal opinion, I think it needs to be a distinction between an IFBB pro and a Masters pro. I think there should be it clear, because if you turn pro Masters and you could jump in an open show, you don't see any other competitive sport that works that way. Like if you were going through collegiate basketball and you went into the NBA, there's not some other segment where you can go through, Masters level basketball, whatever that is, and then all of a sudden you're an NBA player and you could jump onto a professional team. Like that's not the same status, or also like gone through to be able to assure yourself that you're at the same competitive level. So I think there should be a distinction.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I also think Masters should have the opportunity to compete. If you're like, hey, you're pro Masters and that's your distinction, you compete in Masters shows, and then maybe there is a Masters Olympia that's present.
Yeah, I mean, I could get on board with the Masters Olympia. I do wonder though, like what kind of draw that would have for spectators. Everybody wants to go to Olympia because you're going to see the best of the best. You're going to see the freakiest of the freakiest. And would that have the same draw if there was a Masters Olympia?
Of course, it's not going to be as big, because everyone wants to see the best do it. The fastest, the strongest, like that's what we want to see. To have like Masters, they're not like as competitive as the Open guys. They won't be as big. They might not be as conditioned.
But would you have a lot of those?
But you would.
Those people that compete at the Olympia that could also do Masters Olympia. Would there be that crossover?
Well, that's a great example. Is like Francille, right? She
could easily go
Masters.
into Masters, win the Masters Olympia, go to Olympia and win the Olympia. Same with a lot of these Open guys or
and the 212 guys.
212 guys.
You might have very similar lineups in the Masters Olympia. So I guess then it's like, well, I have the Masters Olympia. I think it might work if you have it in a either a different week of the Olympia or after like event on its own. For one, it's going to be huge. Like if you have like even Masters Nationals and the Masters Pro shows like Legion, like there's a ton of divisions. Like it almost needs its own week. Have its own time to do so. And I mean, you'll have all the family members and friends and fans of those people being able to come into it. So maybe that's something like after the Olympia, but it wouldn't be as big of a production.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. All good points.
What do y'all think?
When are you too old?
When are you over the hill?
When are you over the hill?
Just stop.